In our last video, we were in Eufaula, Alabama. Of course, we strolled the streets of the historic downtown, and we learned a lot about the town's history. In this video,
we're in Union Springs, Alabama.
Union Springs is the fifth stop on what we are calling Wanderlust 2025, our road trip from Central Florida to Kansas and back again. For context, we were in Union Springs on a Friday afternoon.
We start here at the Trinity Episcopal Church. It was built in 1909, but by 1993 they only had a congregation of about 10, so the building was transferred to the city and repurposed as a theater in 2004.
What a great way to repurpose an old building.
And right next door is the Carnegie Library, built in 1911. It's one of two remaining Carnegie libraries in Alabama that still operate as libraries. This white building across the street was built in 1880 as the Josephine Hotel.
For those of you interested in the paranormal, apparently that hotel has a bit of a haunted past.
Union Springs was settled in 1835 and incorporated in 1844. Current population is about 3,400. This Hank Williams mural was painted from a photo that showed him performing in 1948 at the grand opening of the Western Auto.
Take note of the bird dog statue in the middle of the street.
I'm glad you brought that up. It turns out that Union Springs is the bird dog field trial capital of the world. They host annual field trials for hunting dogs, and hundreds of tourists come during this time. This is the Bullock County Courthouse, which was built in 1871. Behind the courthouse is the Pauley Jail, which was built in 1897. It was restored in 2000 and used as a film set in a 2004 independent film called Heaven's Fall. You can actually visit the jail by appointment. It is the oldest surviving jail in the state. This white building with pillars used to be retail on the first floor and an opera house on the second floor. Now it's City Hall.
For those that may be new to our channel, our focus is primarily on the historic downtowns. Our methodology is pretty simple. We walk down one side of the street and film, get to the end, turn around and come back and film the other side so you can get a nice perspective of the downtown as a whole. Any interesting things we see on side streets or parallel streets, we also go and check out for you as well.
This area was originally a cotton growing region, and so growth really came when the railroad showed up. Murals on Main is a downtown art installation project. You already saw the Hank Williams one. You can see there's another mural here, and we're coming up on the train depot mural. This is how the depot looked when it was built in 1899. As I mentioned, this town boomed with the railroad. Two major railroads intersected here.
Creating murals is such a fantastic way to show your city's history. When exploring a new town or city, we seldom do any homework ahead of time. We just show up, find what looks like the coolest street of the downtown, and start walking around. We have no agenda. We don't try to make a place look better or worse. You're literally seeing this through our eyes.
This brick building was built in 1888. Originally, the first floor housed fire engines, and the third floor was a Masonic lodge. Then it was a police department, although it appears to have recently moved.
As the video shows, there are certainly buildings that aren't currently in use, but there are plenty that still are, and during the time of our visit, there were quite a few people that were visiting the downtown. In addition to agriculture, there's also a poultry processing plant nearby. And here you can see an example of one of the many buildings in disrepair that hopefully will get some love in the near future. This empty lot suggests that at one time there was a building there, but we could not find out any history on what else may have been in this spot.
This building also appears to have been a Masonic lodge at one time. You can see the symbol up there, although I couldn't find a lot about it online.
And it looks like it's time for an update. All right, so we're in Union Springs. This is a very small downtown, just a few blocks. We've walked one side of it. In order to make this enough time to make a video out of it, we're gonna go into the neighborhoods. We don't normally venture in the neighborhoods, but again, it's just a very small downtown. Plus, let's be honest, I'm kind of curious what the neighborhoods are gonna be like after seeing the downtown. So let's go check it out.
The White House across the street is the Mabson Wadsworth House, built in 1885. This is the Pierce Chancey Jinks House, built in 1931. Apparently, an elaborate staircase was built for the Pierce daughter's wedding, but she ended up eloping.
Suffice it to say, especially compared to the downtown, we were quite amazed by these beautiful homes.
And this really interesting house here is the Singleton White House, built in 1895 by a local judge, Judge Singleton.
Again, what beautiful homes.
So if you find yourself in Union Springs, go online. The city actually has a pretty cool walking tour laid out and has the history and information about both buildings downtown and some of these historic homes.
Which is obviously where we got a lot of this information. So at this point, it was time to turn around and head back to the downtown via the opposite side of the street. Notice what an abrupt transition from residential to commercial.
It appeared as we came into town that there was a lot of newer things along the highway, which may be why some of these stores in the heart of downtown are now closed.
Such is the case with many of the places we visited throughout the years. Fortunately, especially in the last decade, we've noticed that there is a trend across America to start revitalizing these historic downtowns, which is just fantastic. And here we're approaching what would be the first of 3 different murals we will encounter on this road trip for members of the same band.
That's right, this is Eddie Kendricks. He was the first lead tenor for the Temptations. He was born here in Union Springs in 1939.
So when we were exploring this town, something seemed a little off. And of course, we do things backwards. We research these places after we visited. And actually, when I do the wrap-up, I mention this, but it turned out that just a few months prior, there was a very significant fire in the downtown that removed one of the old historical buildings. I believe it was a pharmacy, and you could still see some remnants of that throughout the walk of the downtown.
We're coming up on another mural, this one commemorating the bird dog field trials. And here we see the post office, built in the 1930s. It still functions as a post office.
As stated previously, this is a pretty small downtown, so it's a pretty short video, so it looks like it's time to wrap this one up. All right, what'd you think of Union Springs, Alabama?
Well, there were some beautiful historic homes here. The downtown probably has a ways to go, but there is some gorgeous homes. I'm glad we stopped. It's always good to see something new.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you never know what you're gonna find. It looks to us like there was perhaps a fire here downtown fairly recently. One of the last parts of the video, you'll see a corner that's missing and it's definitely kind of charred, and then I think we saw some reference to it on another building. So how big of a deal was that? I have no idea.
Yeah.
But the real surprise was about a block from the downtown when we got into the residential neighborhoods. Oh my!
Yes, beautiful. Beautiful big houses. So, you know, like I said, you never know what to expect, and I'm never disappointed because it's always interesting to see different parts of the country. So I enjoyed it. I don't know that it's near anything, so it's not really.
And I wouldn't actually say it's probably a destination in and of itself, but if you're passing through, there's a lot of murals downtown, which is very cool. Hey, why not? Come check it out. So get off the couch. We'll see you next time.
Cheers.